Thank you so much for joining us and taking this time to think about next steps for your career. So to introduce myself, I'm Associate Dean for Shady Grove Affairs in the College of Natural and Mathematical Sciences. So all programs coming down from the college, I would be overseeing. And right now I'm currently serving as the interim graduate program director for this biotechnology program. I actually started my career at UMBC, getting a bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and then going on to Georgia Tech to get my PhD in mechanical engineering, but doing research in bioengineering, which is why I ended up segueing into the sciences, working in industry at Becton Dickinson, not the one in Maryland, but the one up their headquarters in New Jersey, and then also working in the federal government. So really, for me, this program, I think, is unique and important because what I saw in industry, you could end up working in a job where you don't see the other pieces of how things come together to be a commercialized product. And this program really builds that knowledge for you and prepares you for jobs that are beyond just the bench. And entry-level positions. So that's why I really enjoy administering this program and talking about it. So next slide. So as you may have noticed, we're UMBC. So when you graduate, you get a full UMBC degree, but we are located in Rockville, Maryland for convenience. Now, this may not matter for many of you because we have moved our program to be flexible where you can do it fully online. But we do have some classes, like we have our downstream class this semester that's an elective, so you don't have to take it, and that meets in person. And so at our Rockville campus, it allows for, to be located in a convenient place for people that may not live up in the Baltimore area, as well as being near the hotbed for biotech companies. Within our program, we have kind of three offerings. First is the full master's degree, and this is a professional master's degree, and you'll see on the next slides why it's this specialized master's. To obtain that master's degree requires you to take 10 courses, which would equate, each course is 3 credits, and so that would be 30 credits, and we'll go more into what those classes look like. You can also get a certificate with us. We have a biotechnology management certificate and a biochemical regulatory engineering certificate. And those certificates only require 4 classes. So you could possibly finish that within a year. And you can also do both, which you'll see on the subsequent slides, get the master's degree as well as one of the 2 certificates. So for our master's degree, those 10 courses are structured in a way where you have 6 core courses. Those core courses are required for everyone to take. And those 6 are the business of biotechnology, emerging topics in biotechnology, experimental design, so that's an advanced statistics class, management, leadership, and communications, legal ethical issues in biotechnology, and then it wraps up all together with a capstone course, which you typically would take in your last semester. So you'll see that these classes are not just sharpening your technical skills in biotechnology. We have the advanced statistics class, and we have the capstone class, but it's building your leadership skills, your professional skills, those things. If you've read any kind of management materials, they'll say that, it's these professional skills that matter more than your technical skills as you move into leadership positions. And so that's why we've built a program like this, where it's helping to take your expertise, leverage it to build these professional skills along with your technical skills. So these are the 6 core classes that every student coming through the program takes. And then following that, to fill out the rest of the 10 courses, you would take 4 elective courses. And these courses can be in anything you want. And I think we have it listed on the next slide, some examples of elective courses. So, and you'll see a lot more technical classes that are specialized in the technical areas that we see in biotech that could, again, getting that exposure will help you to advance your career. So we have bioprocessing classes, we have regulatory classes, GMP. We have a class we've been running the past couple of years in devices and combination products. That's a huge area of growth in biotech. So when you talk about pre-filled syringes, or self-injection pens, those are all combination products. And so companies are following suit to do those more. Project management fundamentals, critical in pretty much any job you'll get in industry. And we're developing new electives as we speak. So I'm working on a syllabus right now on introduction to clinical trials. We also have a special topics class. It's not listed here, but every year we plan to rotate that class, the topic that's covered in that class. So this upcoming year, this upcoming fall, we're doing a special topics class on cell and gene therapy. Again, really exploding in the biotech industry. We have Kite Pharma and blanket on the name, not Emergent, the other company that's in Baltimore, Catalent, that are, doing a lot along with others in this space. And so we are going to run a special topics class on cell and gene therapy. So that would be available for you to take as part of the degree program. So for our certificate program, again, that's 4 classes for the Biotechnology Management Certificate. And you'll see that 3 of those 4 classes are part of the core classes that you would need to take to get the master's degree. And so the only class that you would need to add, which could be added as your elective, would be the Project Management Fundamentals class, and you would then have the Biotechnology Management Certificate. With the Biochemical Regulatory Engineering Certificate, these, again, you may recall seeing these listed as electives. So if you wanted to pursue this certificate in addition to your master's degree, you could have all 4 of your elective courses be aligned with this certificate. And regulatory engineering is always needed. Regulatory folks will never go out of a job because you always have to put products through clinical trials in the regulatory process and making sure you build a biomanufacturing facility that meets regulatory requirements of the FDA. And so that's what these classes are really teaching you about, is regulatory issues in biotech, GMP, how to build, how to do validation and construction of a GMP facility, and then QA, QC as well, building the test, running those tests, and doing all the quality control and assurance that's required in order to put a product out the door. So this slide certainly needs some updating. Ms. Jenkins and I were just talking about that, but showing you the potential earning that you can see by getting your master's degree. We were just looking at some data recently where for bachelor's degree, the starting salary in biotech on average is about $70,000, and with a master's degree can jump up to $100,000. So really great earning potential with getting your master's degree. And this area is a really great area for biotech. The job growth in this same report showed about 22% job growth over the coming years in biotech. And you probably have seen this if you've been, with the pandemic and, many other things have highlighted, the growth in biotech and biopharma. You'll see here that this area, which they coined the biohealth capital region, is number 4 in terms of U.S. biopharma clusters. And there's a lot of momentum in trying to move even higher by 2023 to number 3. So this is a really great place, really great industry to pursue a career in. And we'd love to, this program is helping you to build those skills you need to advance your career in this industry. These are the things that we're hearing companies say that students need, entry-level positions, or even PhD level scientists. They don't really have the business acumen and the professional skills to really be able to hit the ground running and move products forward in the company. So that's what we're trying to build here, is that knowledge for you so that you can excel your career in biotech. So this talks about some of our program strengths. I mentioned being really industry relevant, making sure our classes align with what industry is saying they need. The other way we do that is we have experienced instructors who are working in the industry. And so with that, they're bringing in their experiences and keeping our curriculum fresh. Not to mention that it also helps you in building your network when you're ready to go, whether you may want to stay in your job, but you might want to look for something else. And so you're networking with your professors who are working in the industry, whether it's AstraZeneca, whether they're working at the FDA. We have an instructor now from Regenix Bio who just came on board for our management, leadership, and communications course. So these are people who are working in the field. Flexible. So I mentioned we now have our program where you can do it all online if you choose, and we do have some in-person classes as well. And all of our classes are in the evening from 6 to 8:45, whether they're online or in person. And that's to allow flexibility because our program is for those, a lot of the people in our program are working while getting their master's degree. So we design the classes to be scheduled in that way. Interactive, so a lot of presentations and such to really kind of mimic you working in a company and having to present in front of your boss or your peers. Building leadership skills, whether it's the topic of our class, like management, leadership, and communications, or just the interactive nature of our class. And then I mentioned the opportunity for networking. I get job announcements quite often, so we have a listserv where I share those opportunities with students. And again, through your instructors, it could be your one instructor, and some instructors bring in guest lecturers. So you're getting exposed to so many different people in the industry through these classes. We also have a partnership with NIH's Graduate School, which is called FAES. So you can take classes over there and have some of those classes count towards your degree if you're getting the master's degree. And so this broadens the number of electives that are offered to you. I think it's up to 6 maybe credits that you can transfer in from the Graduate School of NIH. They have a ton over there. And here's some numbers on tuition. I don't know if Karina, if you wanted to cover this slide, or should I?
Sure, I can cover this. As Shady Grove students, you have a different set of mandatory fees. The tuition is still the same between the Shady Grove campus and the Catonsville campus. However, your student fees are reduced over at the Shady Grove campus. So these are the numbers for the current semester. I don't know if they've posted the fall or the 2022-2023 academic year tuition and fees, but this is a good tool right here at the bottom, the graduate tuition calculator, if you want to get an estimate of what the tuition and fees would be for either a semester or for an academic year. It allows you to enter in the number of credits, the campus that you're attending, any scholarships you might have, financial aid, etc. And it'll give you an estimate for the next year. We do offer a program called what it's called exactly. It's almost like a scholarship. So if you live in the Northern Virginia area, DC, Delaware, and certain counties in Pennsylvania, you are counted as having Maryland resident tuition rate. You would not be receiving the non-Maryland tuition rate. So that's a special offer that we have for those students living in those areas. Additionally, just to cover quickly, this program does not offer graduate assistantships or departmental aid. Domestic students are eligible to apply for financial aid through our financial aid office. You can submit the FAFSA at any point. We do have some scholarship links that you are welcome to research. The UMBC Scholarship Retriever has a number of scholarships that are offered within the UMBC campus. the USG scholarships, it's a one application from my understanding, and they will take that application to see which one of the scholarships we offer at Shady Grove you would be qualified for. And they would make a decision on which ones to give you. And so that's a really good opportunity, just to submit one application and be considered for a number of opportunities. Additionally, this external resource, the Sallie Mae Graduate Scholarship Search, it's a portal with a number of scholarship opportunities that are public. And I learned about it at a financial aid event. So take advantage. There's a number of opportunities if you're willing to do the research. Additionally, students who decide to join our program can look for campus jobs either on the UMBC Works page or the USG employment page. I don't know if you have anything else to add to that, Anika.
Only that if you are working at a company, they may provide you with tuition remission benefits. So paying a portion or the full amount of your tuition to pursue further education.
I can cover this one as well. So our application requirements. Applications are being accepted now for the fall semester. All applicants must submit a goal statement outlining your goals and expectations in the program and any additional information about your background or qualifications. Your resume, unofficial transcripts. We do accept unofficial transcripts for the application. If you are accepted, then at a later date, we will request official transcripts from you. And there's also a $50 non-refundable application fee, but if you hang tight till the end, then there is also a fee waiver code for that. International students, in addition to the requirements I just listed, we also ask for English proficiency scores, and you see on this list which ones we accept and what the minimum scores are that we require. Additionally, this is not required, but it's highly recommended to help us expedite the review process, a WES course by course evaluation, and that would count as an official transcript for us. So for our domestic students, we do accept summer 2022 applications. The deadline for that is May 1st. International and domestics who want to start in the fall semester, we accept applications through August 1st. And then our spring 2023 deadline is December 1. We do admissions on a rolling basis. So as soon as I receive your completed application, I turn it over to Dr. Wayman and occasionally another reviewer for some help. And they will turn over a decision within a couple weeks. So typically we tell students to look out for a decision within 4 to 8 weeks after you submit your complete application. So we recommend that you review your admission requirements for the program, submit your application online at the graduate school's website, and then stay tuned.
And let me just add that we do offer 2 of the required courses for your master's degree in the summer. So that experimental design class, that's the advanced statistics class, as well as legal ethical issues are summer classes. So there, if you do decide to apply to come in the summer, you would actually make some pretty good headway on your degree by fall. Yep. This is one of our faculty members, Dr. Irina Ramos, who she is teaching that downstream course I mentioned this semester in person. She works at AstraZeneca, and she's actually in charge of they have a whole continuous manufacturing initiative that she's leading on the downstream side for AstraZeneca. And so she's actually redesigned her class to kind of introduce these concepts of continuous manufacturing in biopharma. While UMBC did a podcast with her, it might have been a year or a year and a half ago. And it may be worth listening to just hear, from one of our faculty members, their perspective on the program and what they try and instill in the students, to give you an example of the type of instruction that you'll receive in our program. And then finally is our contact information. So Ms. Jenkins, who you've heard from, is the graduate program manager, super responsive, super helpful. So she is a resource for you as well as I am. And there's my email address there as well. So now we will take any questions people have. That special code for staying till the end has now been revealed. So if you use this code DPS 2022, you'll receive a fee waiver on the application fee, the $50 fee waiver. So please jot that down. Again, we'll share these slides, but if you do want to get a head start on your application and want that code, there it is there. So. And I'm always curious, especially when I have a small group, I'm always curious as to who's attending and just getting to know you all here. So if you are able to come off mute, maybe you can introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you're doing now, like what's your background, what's your degree in, and then what you're doing right now in terms of work. Maybe we'll start with Carla.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hi. Currently, I work at Frederick National Laboratory in Fort Detrick. I have my bachelor's in biology from Towson.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Great. That's a great place to work, Frederick National Labs.
Yes, I enjoy it.
Good. Do you have any questions for us right now?
Let's see.
If you don't, no pressure. I just want her off mute.
Sure. I interestingly enough, I am strongly considering using NIH's FAES Institute.
Great.
So I greatly potentially may kind of do that joint track of using their program and possibly joining that with UMBC. So
great. Well, reach out to us because we do, if for folks at NIH that are starting there and then coming into our program, I can tell you what specific classes will be a smooth transition in. And so, yeah, reach out to us so that you can have a smooth transition.
Okay.
And I think that would be great if you were to do it that way and utilize the NIH opportunity.
Hello, I'm David. I work at NOAA. I have a background in computer science, and I'm a UMBC alumni, and I was looking at, and I'm living nearby, so I was looking at the data science and the biotechnology graduate school programs, looking to advance in my career. Thanks.
Great, thank you. So I guess you're at the NOAA in Silver Spring, is that right?
Yes. Yep. Working from home, but going back in a month.
Okay. Oh, good. I remember I did some work with NOAA when I was working in the government. So very cool. Wonderful. And some biotech intersections there. So sounds like you have a good idea of what's possible with that. Any questions that you have, David, or so far so good?
So most of the classes are online, and I guess, are there any kind of simulators or practical aspects of the downstream or class or anything like that? Thanks.
Yes. So our upstream and downstream instructors are eager to get into the lab. And we have a lab available at USG. So last semester, for sure, last semester in the fall, the upstream instructor took the students in, showed them what a bioreactor looked like, here are all the pieces. So basically did a demo, I think for 1 or 2 classes to show hands-on, what that looks like. The downstream instructor is looking to do the same thing this semester. So there are those opportunities now that we have a brand new lab at the university's at Shady Grove site for UMBC. We have labs there that they're able to do that. Going forward, they may run like really small experiments. We don't have a lab component that you would get lab credit for, so we don't want to overwhelm students. but there are students that would be appreciating that the instructors are eager to want to get in there and do some demos or maybe a very, very small experiment. And the upstream class will be taught in the fall. So with the same instructor, so I'm sure he'll be doing that again. Good question. The questions make me think of all the things that I forgot to say. So that's why I appreciate the questions. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your degree and background and where you're working now.
I have completed 5 years of bachelor degree in pharmacy from Kuala University in Bangladesh.
Okay. Great.
And I also get 6.5 overall score in IELTS.
And the English proficiency
In
score?
IELTS.
Okay.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. I've been to Bangladesh. Still, one of my favorite shirts is from there. So beautiful, beautiful, wonderful. And interested in getting into biotech and advancing your career there, using your pharmacy degree background.
Yes, ma'am. I have some personal issue. That's the reason that I want to defer my offer into next fall semester into the 2023.
Okay.
Could I defer this?
Yes, yes, you could do that. Absolutely. So have you already been accepted to the program?
Yes, ma'am.
You have already been accepted. So then you can just send us an email to say that you'd like to defer your admission to spring 2023, I think is what you said. And then we can change that in the system for you.
Could I resubmit my IELTS score if I get a 7 in next time?
If you get a 7 or if you get a score that is sufficient for getting admitted to UMBC, and then once you get admitted, you decide you want to defer, then you don't have to retake the exam. No.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
But if you do have a score that, causes you to not be admitted, then you can retake the test and apply to get into the program. You may also be admitted on what we call a pathways program. So if your English proficiency score isn't high enough, but we do see, all the rest of your package looks great and align with the program, then we could admit you under what's called admit through a pathways program that helps to build your English proficiency and then segues into that it's, transitions you to being in our program. So it's kind of a conditional admission for you as you're building your English proficiency scores. Our program is growing like a weed. I think a lot of people are at that point now that things are opening back up, looking to see what's next. I don't know if it has to do with the great resignation, that there's also this great, escalation of people thinking of how they want to advance their careers. But, there's been really great growth in our program. We had to open up new sections of classes. And as well as, I'm really excited about the new electives that are coming on board, like the clinical trials elective and some of the new instructors that are coming along with that. So it's a really great and exciting time to come into our program. We work really closely with the other programs, so data science, technical management. We're all, these professional master's degree programs. So David, to your point, you could decide you want to take some electives over there or vice versa. So we all kind of work together and have that same core foundation of trying to build your technical skills along with your professional skills. And also realizing that the world is interdisciplinary. So that's, again, why we also work quite closely together. So if you have any questions at all after signing off, something that you forgot to ask, feel free to reach out. Carla, certainly if you're going through FAES, reach out so we can closely guide you through that and make sure things are smooth. Yeah, any questions you have, feel free to reach out to us.